favorite definition that I found. Vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. My great goal and hope for each of you as we gather here, as you learn from others who have gone before you what his or her vision is, that will help each of you craft a vision. I'm hoping that each of you are able to soak up knowledge and wisdom and hope and encouragement. By the way, one of my favorite authors is John C. Maxwell, and he states that encouragement is oxygen for the soul. My vision is this: as one who has been so very blessed by this network marketing industry for so many years, often you've heard me say that I believe the fundamental principles which govern network marketing are superior to those which govern conventional business. I believe that. I also believe it's true that only rarely are those principles properly applied. My vision for Monavie in Europe and the Middle East is that we be a shining star example, a beacon of hope for all of those who say yes to the industry. And I'm hoping so much that people look to we Monavie Europe as a standard in the industry and a standard in the company. Now, when I say that the fundamental principles which govern network marketing are superior to those which govern conventional business, that implies a few promises. And so I'll share with you my vision. My vision is the first promise will be fully realized by many. And what is that promise? That true part-time people can become significantly profitable.
Hey, first of all, let's congratulate and thank Randy Schrader for putting on this event and the leadership of Randy Schrader. Thank you, Randy. And it's always nice when Randy looks good all the time, but he never looks better than when his wife Tara is at his side. Tara, great to see you, Tara. I never look better than when my wife is at my side, so please welcome my wife. Carrie, come up to the stage. My wife, Carrie, is here.
Oh my word, I gotta tell you, for those of you who traveled 4 days in buses that are financially on the edge, and you made that sacrifice to come here, I can promise you one thing that I know from my heart. You get together with the right teammates, and you hold yourselves accountable, and you make promises to each other that you're going to hold strong through thick and thin, you will find the sweetest reward with Monavie. It's an absolute privilege to be here today. I am just so excited to see so many beautiful faces from so many beautiful countries. I love you all, and I hope that this event touches your heart, and I hope that you make yourself a part of the Monavie family. I love you.
Thank you, Carrie. When we talk about the More Project later, I'll invite Carrie to come up on the stage, as the More Project is near and dear to Carrie's heart as it is to mine. 34 years ago, as an 18-year-old, I flew from Utah on my very first commercial flight to Paris, France. And as I got off of that aircraft and saw the sights of Paris, my vision expanded for what was possible to accomplish and to see. Because of that vision and because of that experience, I've now traveled to over 50 countries around the world. I've been enormously blessed. I went from the bottom of Italy 6 months after that to the top of Norway. I stopped in Denmark, where my ancestors come from. And I stopped in Germany, where more of my ancestors come from. And I spent time in many other countries, including 5 months on a kibbutz in Israel. And I want you to know that it starts with a vision. It starts with wanting to see your life different and believing that all things are possible to those that believe. I'm grateful for parents who told me, Dallin, you can accomplish anything in life that you choose to accomplish. And I was one of 10 children. They taught us how to work hard. They taught us that if we were going to achieve anything in life, that we needed to put in the time and the effort. and the sacrifice and the commitment. I was not a particularly good student. I couldn't wait to get out of school, frankly. I couldn't wait to see the world. But I believed that I was born to do great things, somehow, some way. And so I left that small town in Idaho, and from one experience to another, believing and having a vision that I could change the world and make the world a little bit better for me and my family, and hopefully a few other people. They awarded me the National Entrepreneur of the Year Award in the United States of America a few years ago. That's what's possible to people who believe. I want you to know that 23 years ago, I was living in California. And I went to a meeting much smaller than this. Randy Schrader was speaking. He introduced me to the concept of networking. And he told me about a product. I wasn't so interested in the product, but he told me about a business model and taught me about this business model. And something inside said yes. And I got involved. And one thing led to another. And here I am, 23 years later, absolutely loving this business. I know that this business works for people who work. I know this business will be successful for those people who are willing to roll up their sleeves and make a firm commitment and don't waver from that commitment. I'm going to share a few stories with you today to hopefully give you some hope. Hopefully to expand your vision of what's possible. When we started Monavie, we started in a pretty small building. It was in 2005. That's what the Monavie building looked like in 2005. Nothing too spectacular about that building. We had our very first meeting and there was about 500 people in America that came. 30 days later, 490 had already quit. Must have been a bad meeting. You know, truthfully, it wasn't. It was a good meeting. It was an outstanding meeting for the 10 people who didn't quit. Some of those people are in this audience today. Some of those 10 people who didn't quit. I didn't concern myself with the 490 people who quit. I know that people quit. They quit on a lot of things. It's a rare person who finishes what they start in life. But rather than focusing on the 490, I focused on the 10 who said yes. And we went out and created a business that has shattered all records in network marketing in its 100-year-old industry. So I encourage you to focus on the future. Don't look back. Focus with the people who say yes, not the people who say no. Trust me, there's going to be plenty of people who say no to you. Don't be so concerned. Say yes to yourself. Surround yourself with people who say yes. I acknowledge those that came over here from the United States and Canada. And I think back in 2003, when Carrie and I got married. It's been 9 years ago. We got married and she had five children, 4 that were living. And I had 4 children. And so we have a his and hers and ours. And we got married and she said, "Dallin, I want another one." And all men in this room understand that women always get what they want. So Carrie and I had a little girl. And I thought, certainly that's enough. 10 months later, we had another one. So we have 10 living children now and 2 grandchildren. And to us, the most important things in our life are our relationships with God, our relationship with our children and each other, and our relationship with the Monavie family. And we love all 3 of those. But you know, my parents had 10 children as well, so I'm just trying to keep up. My mom and dad have now been married for 60 years. 60 years. They have 10 children and 59 grandchildren. My dad is 84 and my mom parents and my family, it's pretty amazing to me that now at the age of 52 personally, and my parents at 84 and 80, that all my brothers and sisters and parents are still alive. I've been so blessed. In 1991, I decided to join a company as Vice President of Sales and Marketing and help start this nutrition company prior to Monavie, of course. And I thought, okay, as we start this company, I'm going to get all my family involved. And I'm sure that as you joined Monavie, you said, I'm going to get all my family involved, and certainly they will all want to join. I thought the same. So I talked to all of my brothers and sisters. You need to get involved with me in this company. We're going to build a company. None of them would listen to me. None. That's sad. That's disgusting. Only one listened to me. It's my sister that you see standing next to me right now in that picture. Her name is Colette. She's my oldest sibling. So when you talk to your brothers and sisters or your family and you tell them about Monavie and they don't say yes, say, Dallin said that was going to happen. But you know, you just start with one. You find one on the left, one on the right, and you work with those people, and you help them find one on the left and one on the right. You build a star, you help them become a star, you focus on getting to gold, and then you focus on getting to emerald so you can go on a cruise and get sick. And it's all good. So my sister said yes to me. The reason my sister said yes, and I want to spend a few minutes telling this story, because it's a story of hope. It's a story of commitment. It's a story of a love that only a mother has for her children. The reason my sister said yes to me in 1991 is because she was a single mother of 5 children. And her 2 youngest had a disease that was threatening to take their lives prematurely. I didn't know that a few weeks before I talked to my sister Colette about my new company, that she had gone to the unemployment line and was looking for government assistance. But as she got close to the front of the line, she said, something inside of me said, Colette, you were not born for this. You were born for greatness. And so she left and went back home and got on her knees and prayed to God and said, God, I need your help. A few days later, I called her and said, Colette, I'm starting a company. I know that you can do this. So she said yes. And again, the main reason she said yes is because of her 2 daughters with cystic fibrosis. My sister said yes to that business in 1991. That's now been 21 years ago. 3 weeks later, she earned her first check. Every week since, for the last 21 years, she's earned a check. We talk about residual income. We talk about passive walk-away income. This is what happens in this business to those people who have a big dream, who have a big why. My sister's why was to try to save her daughter's life. So every week, imagine, I want you to visualize that 20 years from now, just like my sister, you're earning income every week, whether you're still in the business or whether you're retired, or whether you're spending your time doing something to help other people, because you put motion in place, because you laid a solid foundation. That foundation continued to build until such time that you have a Monavie business, not only in France, and not only in Germany and Portugal, and Poland, but in America as well, in Brazil and Mexico. I just got back from Thailand a few days ago. We're going to India in 2 more months. There will be over 10,000 people at the grand opening in Delhi. I want you to visualize that 20 years from now, you are earning a big income every week. And that income is not just coming from Europe, but all over the world, because now Monavie is in 23 countries, and there will come a time when Monavie is in 50 countries. You know what? The most important thing for you is to make sure that Monavie is in your country, growing every day and every week. jump on a plane and go somewhere else to build your Monavie business. There are people in your community right now who need Monavie. There are people like my sister today who are on their knees praying, God, I need your help. I want to encourage you to be a blessing in their lives because we have a solution. Almost 3 years ago, Carrie and I started building a home. We decided to move back from Florida where we were right on the water. In my office, I could see the dolphins every week. It's a beautiful, beautiful home. But we decided to move back home closer to the Monavie corporate office. And so we started this home and we built the foundation. Because we knew, as you know, that in order for a home to be built, it all starts with the foundation. Today we are laying your foundation. Today and tomorrow, I want you to view this event, this Vision Conference, as laying your foundation for a solid future. Like Randy said, every speaker has been carefully selected to deliver content, to help you. But I also want you to know that no matter what is said here on this stage, that at the end of the day it comes down to you and your why and your dreams and your vision. So I encourage you, even though these events are going to last, we're going to be together a lot over the next 2 days. I want to encourage you to spend some alone time before you go home, writing down your vision. Why is it that you want Monavie? Why is it that you need Monavie? I know the reason why my sister needed her business to work. It's because she was trying to save her daughter's lives. Both of her daughters needed new lungs. My sister said yes to the business in 1991. 3 weeks later, she earned her first check. I told you for the last 20 years she's earned an income every week because of the foundation she laid in 1991, 1992, and 1993. My sister can now do whatever she wants for the rest of her life because she has a global business. If my sister, who has never had a day of college education, can build a global business, you can too. It all depends on you. It doesn't depend on Monavie. I promise that we're going to keep paying commissions every week. I promise that we're going to continue delivering exceptional products. After I get done on this stage, you're going to be hearing from Dr. Paul Clayton. It doesn't get any better than Dr. Paul Clayton in explaining the science and the reasons why Monavie. You're also going to be hearing from Mark McDonald, a New York Times best-selling author. He's the spokesperson for Reveal. It's our weight loss, weight management program. I promise you're not going to find a finer product than Monavie and Reveal. You're not going to find a finer compensation plan. And I can promise you that nowhere in the world of Monavie is there a more seasoned and professional president than Randy Schrader. I'm giving you the best. So at the end of the day, it comes up to you. And what is your vision? My sister's vision was to save her daughter's life. 2 of them. They were both born with the same disease. So 3 weeks after she got started in the business, she earned a check. 6 months later, one of her daughters passed away. And for the next several months, she went to Lexi's graveside every day to mourn the passing of her daughter. Amazingly, during this period of time, Colette's income continued to grow, not go down, because she had laid a foundation. No longer was Colette reliant upon her own work and effort completely. Now she had an army of people who were out there telling about a business and a line of products. It was amazing for me as her brother to watch as her income grew when she took time off because of the foundation she had in place. About 6 months after Lexi passed away, I called my sister Colette and said, Colette, it's time for you to get back. People need you, and more importantly, you need them. And so she re-engaged in that business because she had one more daughter with the same disease, Charlie. My niece Charlie was given a year to live about 9 years ago now. My niece, Charlie, I invited her to speak to a Montague crowd. She came to Anaheim, California, a couple of years ago and spoke. She's an angel. She has one lung. And out of this one lung, she breathes at 13% lung capacity. It's like trying to breathe out of a coffee straw all day, every day. And so she has watched as her lung capacity has continued decreasing. Well, about 9 months ago, we knew that her life was short. And as a result of that, Colette did what any loving mother would do. She tried to figure out a way to extend her daughter's life even further. And so she went to the finest medical center in America. And they were willing to put Charlie on a lung transplant list. See, for the last 20 years, my sister's been earning, she started and she made $100 3 weeks after she started her business. And then it's just growing a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, until it got pretty big, and then pretty big. And now my sister makes $1 million a year in this company I helped start in 1991. But she has saved a lot of that money. Not for a big fancy car, and not for a big fancy home, but she has little by little put her money aside because she wanted to believe that someday in her future she would be able to buy a couple of lungs for her daughter. So when we talk about dreams, and I love giving out big checks, we gave out $1 million bonus last week in Thailand. $1 million US to Ken Porter for going Crown Black Diamond. We gave Scott Olson, who is here with us today, a $300,000 check for going presidential. We gave away some new Mercedes-Benz last week, and we're going to give out another one today. You see the car over there? I like giving out free Mercedes. That's nice. But you know what I like more than that? I like families who are saving some money for a rainy day, who are anticipating that some event may happen in the future where you're going to have to need some money. And I'm also going to let you know that there's going to be things happen in your future that you don't know are going to happen. I don't want that day to arrive in your life with you being unprepared. I encourage you to get into Montague, and I encourage you to be all in, full throttle, gas to the bottom of the floor, giving it all you've got for the next 2 to 3 years to build that foundation, to build a business that will go around the world, so that when you fall asleep, there's someone else in the world just waking up, going out to share the Montague products and the business with people in their own community and country. That's what's possible. That's what my sister did. And on February 16th, donor lungs became available. And my sister, my niece, was rushed to Stanford Medical Center, where over the next 11 hours, some of the finest surgeons in the world not only gave my niece 2 new lungs, but a new heart. Because when Charlie lost one of her lungs, her heart moved. Her heart was worn out. Her single lung was worn out. And after 11 hours of intricate detail, my niece came to the recovery room to be met by her husband, a man who married my niece, a man who married a woman with 1 lung, a man who knew that his wife, or believed that his wife probably wouldn't be alive for very many years, but love is amazing and does amazing things to people.